All right, listeners, ready for a deep dive into something delicious.
And nutritious, hopefully.
Yeah, today it's all about nuts.
Well, a certain aspect of them.
Right. We're not just talking about any nuts.
No.
We are going deep on antioxidant-rich nuts.
Uh-huh.
You know, those little powerhouses packed with healthy fats. And you sent me this really cool research
Oh, yeah.
on something called ORAC scores.
Exactly.
And I have to admit, I learned a lot just reading that.
Good.
So we're going to break down the top 10 antioxidant nuts according to these ORAC scores.
Yeah, okay. Sounds good.
But before we jump into that list,
Right.
let's talk about what an ORAC score actually is.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? Because I think a lot of our listeners might be familiar with antioxidants.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're good for you.
Right.
We hear all the time,
Yeah.
eat your antioxidants.
Yeah.
But what does this ORAC thing actually tell us?
Well, ORAC stands for Oxygen Radical Absorbance Capacity,
Okay.
which is a mouthful.
Yeah.
But basically, it measures a food's ability to fight free radicals. Oh, okay. So it's like a measure of antioxidant power.
Exactly.
Got it.
Yeah, the higher the ORAC score, the better that food is at neutralizing those pesky free radicals.
Okay. So this is like a superhero scorecard for nuts.
Kinda. Yeah.
So the higher the score, the bigger the superhero.
You got it.
I like that analogy.
Very good.
Okay. So now that we know what we're looking at,
Right.
let's start our countdown.
Okay.
What nut kicks us off at number 10?
At number 10, we have the pistachio with an ORAC score of 4,473.
Pistachio's not bad.
Not bad at all.
They're delicious.
And that score is almost double the score of blueberries.
Wow. Okay. So pistachios are a serious contender.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
What else makes them stand out?
Well, they're a great source of healthy fats and fiber,
Mm.
which can keep you feeling fuller for longer.
Right. Always a good thing.
And they can also help support good cholesterol levels.
Oh, that's important.
Yeah. And in terms of antioxidants, they're particularly rich in a type called gamma-tocopherol.
Okay, say that 3 times fast.
Gamma-tocopherol. I'll stick with pistachios.
It's a form of vitamin E
Well-
that's been linked to protecting against certain types of cancer.
Oh, wow. So they're little cancer fighters.
They might be.
I like them even more now.
Good.
What about number 9?
Number 9 is the almond.
Oh, a classic.
Yeah,
With an ORAC score of,
4,454.
okay, so pretty close to pistachio.
Yeah, very close.
What's their superpower?
Almonds are packed with another form of vitamin E called alpha tocopherol.
Okay, so different type of vitamin E
Right.
than pistachios.
Got it.
And alpha tocopherol is particularly important for maintaining healthy skin
Oh, interesting.
and protecting cells from damage.
Okay, so they're like little bodyguards for our cells.
Yeah, you could say that.
And I always have almonds on hand,
Good.
for a quick snack.
Yeah, that's a smart move.
It's easy.
And remember, vitamin E is a fat-soluble antioxidant.
Okay, meaning,
It needs fat to be absorbed properly.
got it.
And luckily, almonds are naturally rich in healthy fats.
Oh, okay, so they come pre-packaged with everything they need.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool.
Nature is pretty cool.
All right, let's move on to number 8.
All right, number 8 is the hazelnut.
Hazelnuts. Oh, I love hazelnuts.
They have an ORAC score of 5,567.
Okay, so they're moving up in the ranks.
They are.
What makes them special?
Well, they're rich in proanthocyanidins.
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 It's a hazelnut antioxidants.
Fair enough.
What do they do?
They're a type of flavonoid that's been linked to improved blood flow and heart health.
Oh, so good for the ticker.
Yep.
I do love hazelnuts, but I mostly eat them in Nutella,
Well,
which I know is not the healthiest way to enjoy them.
yeah, probably not the best source of antioxidants.
Not exactly health food.
But hazelnuts themselves are very versatile.
Okay, good.
You can add them to trail mix, roast them for a snack,
Mm-hmm.
or even use them in savory dishes.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
So it's not all about Nutella.
Yeah.
What's next on the list?
Number 7 is the Brazil nut. Brazil nut, okay.
With an ORAC score of 6,705.
Wow. They're climbing up there.
Yeah.
I always thought of Brazil nuts as kind of exotic.
They are a bit unique.
They're big and have a distinct flavor.
Mm-hmm.
What's their claim to fame?
Well, they're incredibly rich in selenium.
Selenium.
Yeah, it's a trace mineral
Okay.
that plays a vital role in thyroid function
Oh, wow.
and also acts as a powerful antioxidant.
So they're good for the thyroid and fighting free radicals.
Yes.
Double duty.
Yeah. And you only need a small amount of selenium each day.
Okay.
In fact, just 1 to 3 Brazil nuts can provide your daily requirement.
Wow. So they're potent.
They are.
Definitely a nut to enjoy in moderation.
Exactly.
All right. What's up next?
At number 6, we have the walnut
Walnut.
with an ORAC score of 6,855.
Okay. Getting close to the top 5.
Yeah.
What's special about walnuts?
Well, they're often praised for their brain-boosting benefits
Oh, yeah. I've heard that.
due to their high content of omega-3 fatty acids.
Right, omega-3.
Yeah, specifically ALA, which is an essential fatty acid
Okay.
that our bodies convert into DHA and EPA.
So good for the brain.
Yeah,
My grandma used to love walnuts.
good for her.
She'd always say they look like little brains.
They do a bit.
And she'd snack on them while doing her crossword puzzles.
Smart lady.
So maybe there's something to that.
There might be some truth to that.
Okay, let's keep this countdown rolling.
All right.
What's at number 5?
Number 5 is the pecan
Pecan's delicious.
with an ORAC score of 8,349.
All right, they're pulling ahead.
Yeah.
What makes pecans so special?
Well, they're particularly rich in an antioxidant called ellagic acid.
Ellagic acid.
Uh-huh.
Another tough one.
Which has been shown to have anti-cancer properties.
Oh, wow.
And protect against DNA damage.
Okay, so they're like little DNA guardians.
You could see that.
I love pecans, but mostly in pies and cookies
Yes.
around the holidays.
Yeah,
But it sounds like they deserve more attention
they do.
year-round,
Yeah, for sure.
not just in sugary treats.
Exactly.
Okay, what about number 4?
Number 4 is the cashew
Cashews, oh yeah.
with an ORSC score of 13,541.
Wow, they jump way up.
They did.
Okay, cashews are a favorite.
They're delicious.
What makes them such a powerhouse?
Well, cashews are technically seeds,
Oh, I didn't know that.
but they have a similar nutritional profile to nuts.
Okay,
And they're a fantastic source of copper.
copper.
Yeah, it's a mineral
Oh,
that's
yeah.
essential for iron absorption
Hmm.
and collagen production.
Oh, so good for skin and bones.
You got it.
And they're so creamy.
They are.
Perfect for making cashew cheese or sauces.
Yeah, they're very versatile.
All right, we're getting to the top 3.
This is getting exciting.
It is what nut takes the bronze medal.
Coming in at number 3 is the pine nut.
Pine nuts, those tiny things
Tiny but mighty.
with an ORSC score of,
17,940.
wow, okay, they're serious.
Yeah.
What makes them so special?
Pine nuts are rich in antioxidants like lutein and zeaxanthin,
Okay.
which are particularly important for eye health.
Oh, interesting. And protecting against age-related macular degeneration.
So good for vision.
Yep.
I do love pine nuts,
They're great.
but they can be pricey.
You're not wrong.
Are there any more budget-friendly ways
Mhm.
to get those eye-protecting benefits?
Yeah, leafy greens like spinach and kale.
Ooh, good old spinach. Always comes through. Does the trick.
Okay, so we've got our top 3.
Mhm.
Bronze medal goes to pine nuts.
Correct.
What about the silver?
Taking the second place spot is the pecan. Pecan again? Yeah, but this time specifically the wild variety.
Wild pecans.
Uh-huh.
I didn't even know
Yeah.
there was a difference.
There is.
So regular pecans at number 5
Mm-hmm.
and wild pecans at number 2.
That's right.
What makes them so different?
Well, wild pecans typically grow in more diverse and challenging environments,
Oh, interesting.
which can lead to a higher concentration of those protective antioxidants.
Oh, so it's like they've had to fight harder to survive.
Kinda, yeah.
So they've developed stronger defenses.
You could say that.
That's fascinating.
And they often have a more intense flavor as well.
Oh,
However, they can be harder to find.
yeah.
They're more expensive than cultivated pecans.
Okay, so it's like the premium version.
Exactly.
All right, the moment we've all been waiting for,
Drum roll, please.
the gold medal, the antioxidant champion,
It's the hickory nut.
the hickory nut.
Uh-huh.
I'm not going to lie, I'm not very familiar with this one.
They're not as well known.
Fill me in.
They have a rich, buttery flavor,
Okay.
kind of reminiscent of pecans.
Okay.
They're native to North America
Oh, interesting.
and were a staple food for many indigenous tribes.
Well, so they have a long history.
They do.
What else?
They're incredibly nutrient dense,
Okay.
offering a good source of protein, fiber, healthy fats,
Hmm.
and of course they're packed with antioxidants.
So they're like a nutritional triple threat.
Yeah,
This has been a fascinating deep dive.
I agree.
I'm looking at my snack drawer in a whole new light.
Good.
So we've got our top 10, hickory nut taking the gold,
Yeah,
but all of these nuts have something to offer.
absolutely.
So what's the final takeaway?
Well, while ORAC scores are informative,
Right?
the key is to enjoy a variety of nuts
Okay.
for the best health benefits.
Makes sense.
Aim for about a handful or an ounce per day.
Okay, easy enough.
And whenever possible, choose all natural organic nuts.
Right, to avoid any unwanted chemicals or pesticides.
Exactly.
Awesome advice.
Thank you.
So listeners, I hope you learned something new about these amazing nuts.
Me too.
And maybe you'll even try out a new one,
Yeah.
like the hickory nut.
Or some wild pecan.
So many delicious options.
All right.
Until next time, happy snacking, everyone.
Stay healthy.